morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching Janata Television and this is the English Bulletin with me, Anustha Acharya. The top stories first. PM Deoba holds discussion with election officials regarding upcoming polls. Government in favor of holding all three tiers of election at once. Secondary education and examinations from mid-April this year. Class 12 exams to be held a month later. Nepal imports exceeds Rs 999 billion. Export also up in first 6 months of current fiscal year. 2 reported dead as earthquake rattles southern Haiti. Dozens injured and hundreds of homes damaged in 5.3 magnitude quake. And Sevilla reached agreement to sign Anthony Martial on loan. Man United forward will join the La Liga side for rest of the season. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Sheikh Bahadur Deoba held discussion with officials of the Election Commission regarding the upcoming elections. The Prime Minister had called officials of the Commission at his official residence in Balwatar to discuss the local elections. The ruling coalition has almost agreed to hold all three tiers of election before the next winter season. However, the main opposition party, CP and UML, is strongly against the idea. The UML has warned that holding all three tiers of election at once will not be acceptable to them. However, the ruling parties are in favor of holding the elections at once. The ruling coalition is also preparing to amend the Local Level Election Act to his end. Meanwhile, the Election Commission has been stating that it is not possible to hold all three tiers of election at once. The National Examinations Board has started preparations to conduct this year's secondary education examination between mid-April to mid-May. Similarly, the board is planning to hold the Class 12 examinations between mid-May to mid-June after the SEE. The board's chair, Dr. Mahasram Sarma, urged the students to be prepared for the examinations as the board has started preparations to conduct the SEE and Class 12 examinations in the month of Baisakh and Jeshta respectively as per the Nepali calendar. The classes will be run till Chaitra for completing the course and preparations have been made to hold SEE in Baisakh. The board said the schedule of the examination would however be published after some days. Nepal's export has witnessed an increase along with the import in the first 6 months of the current fiscal year. A report. The country imported goods and services worth Rs 999.34 billion and exported goods and services worth Rs 118.85 billion in the review period. Nepal imported goods from 141 countries and the largest import was from India. Imports from India were worth Rs 603.54 billion during this period. Trade statistics of the first 6 months of the current fiscal year released by the Department of Customs shows that the import increased by 59.13%, while the export went up by 955.48% during this period. The import in the first 6 months of the last fiscal year stood at Rs 661.24 billion. Although the export is increasing, the import is growing exponentially, thereby leading to a heightening trade deficit. Trade deficit increased by 46.64% in the first 6 months of the current fiscal year to reach Rs 880.49 billion. The trade deficit in the same period of last fiscal year was Rs 600.44 billion. Similarly, the country's overall foreign trade was worth Rs 1.11 trillion in the first 6 months of the current fiscal year, while it was Rs 722.45 billion during the corresponding period of last fiscal year. The foreign trade in the first month of the current fiscal year is 54.86% more as compared to the foreign trade in the corresponding period of the last fiscal year. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 8,054 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 918,448, while the number of active cases has increased to 82,550. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 815,653 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country. The death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 11,659 after the virus claimed 4 more lives yesterday. Nepal is currently among top 51 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA tops the list with over 72.91 million confirmed cases, followed by India with over 39.54 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 354.77 million people across the world and claimed over 5.62 million lives. And now the news from economic front. Nepal Oil Corporation, the state-owned oil monopoly of the country, has paid Rs 13.2 billion to the Indian Oil Corporation for the purchase of crude oil. The NOC, which has reportedly suffered losses, sought Rs 1.8 billion from the government and paid installment to the IOC, informed NOC spokesperson Vineet Mani Upadhyaya. NOC received the amount from the Price Stabilization Fund of the government. It sent the second installment to the IOC yesterday. A meeting of the Board of Directors of the Price Stabilization Fund on Friday decided to provide Rs 1.8 million to the NOC. The corporation has been reportedly incurring losses as prices of petroleum products have increased in the international market. It would further incur losses if the price of petroleum products are not adjusted following the increment in the purchase price, according to experts. Meanwhile, the NOC is worried about how to pay the third installment to the IOC for need of money. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back now to international news. A 5.3 magnitude earthquake and a series of smaller tremors have struck southwest Haiti, killing at least 2 people, sending panicked residents into the streets and forcing authorities to close schools. The U.S. Geological Survey said the first earthquake on Monday morning struck near the city of Les Cayes, about 200 km west of the capital Port-au-Prince, followed by tremors of 4.4 and 5.1 magnitudes. 2 people were killed, the Associated Press and AFP news agencies reported, citing Haiti's Civil Protection Agency. AFP said a man died when a wall collapsed and Ens-y-Veo, a small coastal town 130 kilometers from Port-au-Prince, while a second man died in a landslide in Fond des Negres, 20 kilometers further south. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Sevilla have reached an agreement to sign Anthony Martial on loan from Manchester United. The 26-year-old will join the La Liga side, who will pay his wages in full until the end of the season. Martial will fly from Paris, where he is currently located, to Seville on Tuesday to undergo a medical. The forward always wanted to join Sevilla this month despite interest from Juventus and Barcelona, because he believes that he is where he will play the most. Martial became the world's most expensive teenager when he joined United from Monaco in 2015 and went on to score 79 times in 269 appearances for the club. But he fell out in favor in the forward position following the signings of Cristiano Ronaldo and Jadon Sancho in the summer, as well as the emergence of Mason Greenwood. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. PM Dioba holds discussion with election officials regarding upcoming polls. Government in favor of holding the 3 tiers of election at once. Secondary education examinations from mid-April this season. Class 12 exams to be held a month later. Nepal's imports exceed Rs 999 billion, export also up in the first 6 months of current fiscal year. Two reported dead as earthquake rattles southern Haiti, dozens injured and hundreds of homes damaged in 5.3 magnitude quake. And Sevilla reached agreement to sign Anthony Marcel on a loan. Man United forward will join the La Liga side for rest of the season. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.